Scrappy peeps, welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you this 2-photo birthday layout created using the Hip Hip Hooray kit from, collection from Echo Park. So I have pulled 4 of the pattern paper pieces, and I am going to cut 3 5x7 rectangles and layer those up with another rectangle that I believe ends up being 5x5, possibly 5x6. So you can see that I have pulled 2 color on color pattern papers and then 2 tone on tone, sort of more B-sides to just provide a break so that you can actually catch the color in the multicolors. And then you can see that I flipped one of those patterns, and it's still a pattern. It's just a more controlled pattern. And that's the only one that is not 5x7 as you cascade down the page. So I had thought that I was going to use this blue as my 4th rectangle, but I decide that it's a good color to mat the photos with. That is not something that I normally do, but because I've got a lot of busy pattern paper, I need to create a grounding point per se for the photos so that they don't just sort of meld into the design and that they stand out, because that's a critical element in the storytelling is the photos. So this is art for me, right? Craft, creativeness, but it is also storytelling. That's the main reason that I do what I do. So I really liked the yellow because I thought the yellow pulled out that yellow mango birthday cake, as well as the gold, the yellow in the gold of the candles. But I don't want to cut into, actually, I'm not sure that I have another piece of paper. So I decide to go with the tone on tone B-side red. And I like the way that there's a horizontal movement to it, but most of this is vertical movement. And it makes me think of that back piece there with the confetti that's falling. So typically with my designs, I like a visual triangle, and I always point that out to you as I'm creating the visual triangle. But here we don't have a visual triangle because the movement is literally vertical down the page. And you'll see that as I put the stickers on from the sticker sheet. So you can see I put that green down crooked, and normally it wouldn't bother me, but because I have such straight horizontal lines of that rainbow stripe, it is very obvious that that green is off center. And so definitely needed fixing there. So I decide initially my photos were going to go side by side, but because of the staggering of the rectangles or the patterned paper in the background, I decide that I definitely need to stagger the photos as well. And I really wanted them to be seen. I like the way that the rainbow paper framed the photos there. So I have the sticker sheet. I have a couple of the other embellishments, but my idea was really to cascade a bunch of the stickers down the page, just a party on a page. It literally, that's kind of was the idea. And so some of them are going to be popped up for the shadow and the texture on the page. Others are just going to go straight onto the page. And there's a lot of color on this. So I decide to put this up at the top there to provide some contrast, to bring that red up to the top of the page, because there isn't a lot of red that's actually visible in those pattern papers up there. And then again, as in a similar idea, taking those, they're not pinwheels, but those decorative fan things that are up the top. I used the sticker down the bottom again to pull elements from the top to the bottom of the page so that you can, it's creating movement down the page there. So I have another horizontal here. The first one that I put down says, "Let's celebrate," I believe. This one says, "It's all about you." And again, it's that same idea, right? Now I'm pulling the green to the bottom. And then there's already blue that is matting the photos. So I have my third horizontal that just says "Happy Birthday." So you can see that movement beginning to develop going down the page like falling confetti. And just trying to make some sense into the design in my use of stickers rather than just sort of plopping them all. So for example, that cake, it had a lot of horizontal movement, which didn't really go with I want more of a vertical movement at this point. And so I changed the cake, and you can see how that creates that more of that cascading effect of the elements falling down the line of the page there. So, believe it or not, when you look at a page like this, it looks very simple, but there is thought that goes into the placement of those elements. So I'm layering up some presents behind these horizontals. And again, that's adding to that cascading effect, the falling confetti effect, the party on the page effect, however you want to go with that. And then just taking some of the smaller elements and also layering them down the page. And again, I'm trying to create balance in color as well as that cascade effect. I also don't want to overwhelm the page either with too many of these things. And by popping some of those elements, you can you create clusters, but also with those clusters kind of contain what is going on there. So that's going to wrap it up, my friends. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Come back again soon. Take care.